Coming up on Kochie's Business Builders, we find out what the new government's got in store for small business. Justin Herald accelerates sales at a custom car shop, and we get a lesson on getting into big retailers from the go-getters at Thank You Group. Hello and welcome to KBB Series 7. Absolute pleasure to have you back with us for what promises to be a terrific series of small business insights and inspiration from right around Australia. We're kicking off in beautiful Adelaide. We've been catching up with a few of the really inspiring, successful businesses here, which you will see a little later in the series. But let's get into it with news you can use.
Facebook now boasts 12 million active monthly users in Australia. That's 120 times the capacity of the MCG. Globally, this figure balloons to 1 billion monthly users, 60% of which are on mobile. With these socialites spending over 6.5 hours on the network every month, making 3.2 billion likes and comments every day, that's a huge and highly engaged audience. In fact, research shows Facebook businesses achieved 98% better ad recall and 31% better brand awareness than online advertising averages. This reflects the sort of super cost-effective, highly targeted advertising that not long ago was only available to big budgets. And with 92 out of 100 people trusting the word of mouth of friends and family, it's a bit like advertising to your mates. What are you going to do?
Thank goodness the election is finally out of the way and we have a new small business minister to help steer the ship in our direction. I caught up with him this week to find out a bit more about the government's big plans for the small end of town. Bruce Billson, welcome. Congratulations on the appointment. Small Business Minister in Cabinet. Great shot in the arm for small business in this country. Tell us what's on the top of your agenda immediately.
Getting the carbon tax off the back of small business is a key priority for all of our team in the Abbott government. Why? The cost pressures it's building in business, the impact it's had on consumer confidence, the fact that bigger businesses got compensation and carve-outs and small businesses were told to pass it on to their customers or suck it up. Number two, get on with the red tape reduction. 21,000 new and amended regulations. That is just gumming up too many enterprises.
So how are you going to do that? Because a lot of governments promise it, then they get into power and they go, oh, geez, this is a little bit too hard.
We're fair dinkum about it because time-poor small businesses don't have 12 people in a compliance department waiting for some Canberra dictate for them to do more regulatory or compliance burden. We've identified some specific measures. The fact that small businesses are obliged to be the pay clerk for the government's paid parental leave scheme. There's no public policy justification for that, yet a complex burden that doesn't need to be there. We'll get rid of that. We've identified other opportunities in the way superannuation contributions are distributed amongst employees. A framework where each department and minister will have a cost compliance reduction goal that they're held accountable for, verified externally by the Productivity Commission, and for public servants looking for a performance bonus, they're going to deliver on those things. So we've got a systematic approach as well as some very specific measures we're keen to get on with.
What about that consistency of regulation across state borders? A lot of small businesses who trade interstate really find that confusing and inefficient.
It's a mixed picture. I mean, if you're a small enterprise operating in one jurisdiction, it can be a pain in the neck. Like if you know what's required of you and you've operated effectively and you're experienced in those compliance burdens, someone coming in saying, here's a uniform system that's going to be good for bigger businesses operating in multiple jurisdictions, there's a bit of a hesitation there. What we are keen to do, though, in things like national licensing, where, you know, a plumber might have trouble licensed in one state, working in another, trying to streamline that so that we don't lose quality, but we make it easy for that mobility of that skill set. Some of these so-called seamless national economy measures. We've just been talking today about national business names registration. A good idea, but some difficulties with its implementation. Let's get that fixed. Right. So there's some opportunities there, but let's not create new bureaucracies with new burdens when we might be best served by streamlining what we've got.
Labour market flexibility?
Yeah. We've committed to putting in a how to make your first employee framework in place for smaller businesses contemplating recruiting somebody, a helpline that's directly and specifically targeting small business so you can get actionable advice that you can get on with and rely upon it, not worried about the different advice you might get when you ring at different times. These are some of the practical measures, as well as making sure that we have small business interests factored into the work of Fair Work, and that's something we haven't seen enough of in the past.
Bruce Billson, thanks for your time.
Great to see you.
Well, there you have it, folks. The word from the top. We'll be sure to keep a close eye on those initiatives as they unfold and keep the government honest. Next up on KBB, rebel entrepreneur Justin Herald revs up sales at a custom car shop. This business tip brought to you by NAB. We see Australian business. David, you say that you see Australian business. Say I'm a plumber, have a good plumbing business. What do you see for me?
Yeah, what we see for you, Kochie, is we want your business to be prosperous and we want to look after all your needs in banking.
Okay, but what if I get some leakage out of cash flow? It's a big thing for most businesses at the moment. What can I do?
Yeah, 3 things on cash flow are important. One is you should negotiate the best terms on the people you're buying your goods from. The second thing is hold as little stock as you can, except for the fast-moving stuff, because that's dead money. And the third thing is make sure that you send out your invoicing on time with very clear instructions when you expect your payment.
Okay, what if I'm good at that sort of stuff and my customers are still slow in paying?
Okay, we'll never knock back the customer if they offer to pay when you're out there in your plumbing van. You know, always take payment at the time you do the job. And I'll offer other things such as BPay or NAB Transact, where you can actually take a credit card payment with your iPad or similar online.
And if I need any other help?
Contact your NAB business banker.
Thought you'd say that.
Thank you.
Visit nab.com/cashflow for tips, tools and information. Repeat customers are essential for the success of any business, but getting customers in and keeping them isn't always easy. One business struggling to stop the revolving door is Mod Squad Customs. So we sent in our sales expert, Justin Herald, to lend some muscle. Steve and Amy are a couple of self-confessed rev heads. They met at an auto show and came up with their business idea the very same day. But a couple of years in, their exclusive car restoration, repair and customisation business is attracting fewer punters than they'd like.
The current economic climate's been slow for a lot of people. How have you faced that? Has it affected you guys at all?
Well, there certainly could be more work, and I think we're sort of at the precipice here now where things are getting that little bit better, that people are, prepared to consider.
Yeah.
Doing
a bit more
now.
confidence there. Well, one of the areas that I put in all of my businesses is I get my current customer or past customer to be my salesperson. So you'll find there's a lot of people that would take their cars or be part of a organisation, group, with their cars. So trying to target, market those people and educate those people or ask those people, either or, to then go out and promote you and your business, because you would imagine they would do that anyway because they're happy with the product. The reason why most customers never do that is they're never asked. What else do you do to get people in to see what you do?
We've just, in the last 12 months, come up with a concept that we call Garage Days, where people can come once a month for a full day Saturday, where Steve will tutor them. They come in with their car and they can work on it. And we have had some people along to them, but not a lot. And yet everybody you talk to says, "Oh, that's fantastic."
But how are you promoting that though?
Only by being there with the people at the car shows and talking to them.
Yeah, see, I think that's another thing that you could try and push out social media-wise. You've got to use as many options as you can, but the main thing is you've got to monitor which one's actually working for you. Too many businesses do everything, and things may work, and then they can't repeat it.
They don't know which one it was.
Yeah.
With Facebook, it often feels like when we talk about the garage days that we're just selling, not... Like, it's a really great vibe when everyone's in here working together.
You know you are, aren't you?
Yes, of course.
You're always selling.
But you don't want to turn the people... You want them to feel like they're coming along for... It's an experience.
Yeah.
You know,
but that can be all done in the delivery, though.
Yes,
and if you're just conversational in your posts, that's all it takes. If you're constant in your posts, it's probably more so. Well, it is a sell. Otherwise, it'd be nice if you didn't have to do that. That probably won't pay the rent. So That's why you've got to probably get a bit better on selling without selling. This is what I think that you should concentrate on, more so to get the repeat customers back to start off with. Just talk to them about what new stuff's happening on, because you might have some customers that have been from a long time ago that don't know that you can still do stuff for them, and you can't assume your customer knows everything that you do. So I'd do and mail out to them. I'd do with your ex-customers and current customers, try and get them to promote you to their database and their lot of friends and their car clubs. Even if it, also one good idea would be to contact a car club and get them to come in and do garage day. But do all of that and, and continue knocking out cars that look like this, and you're just destined to succeed.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I'm taking the car. See ya.
Coming up next are the inspirational young Aussies that slipped into the big supermarkets with a very strategic approach to social media. Getting into a big retailer can be a make or break move for a small business, for any business for that matter. The trouble is, it's notoriously difficult to do. Remember Thank You Water? Well, this socially conscious enterprise recently achieved the feat with an unusual approach. Let's see how they went about it.
So we caught up with you guys in Series 6. It sounds like it's been a really busy year. Dan, what's been going on?
Well, a few changes. So we went from being Thank You Water to now Thank You Group. And part of the change was expanding the range from just water to food and also body care. So now we're not just tackling the world water crisis, but we're empowering Australians to fund food programs overseas and health and hygiene through these great products that we've spent probably a good year and a half developing.
So Jared, what do those growth numbers look like?
So over the last 3 years, each year we've grown on average by about 250%, which is incredible. And then this year, with Coles and Woolies coming on board, we're looking at well over 300% again.
That's fantastic.
It's really good. In terms of money that we've been able to give overseas, we've raised $720,000. Of that, we gave $460,000 last year alone. So the growth has been exponential.
So getting the big retailers on board's been hugely important for you guys. How did you go about that?
We did this little launch video on Facebook and we said to our Facebook community, these are our new products, but we need to be able to show Coles and Woolworths that you want them stocked in the stores. So we asked them whether they could jump on Facebook, create a little video just on their iPhones, just a little raw video saying, if you stock the Thank You range, I'd buy it. Just after we launched the video, I heard a few screams going on down the office downstairs. I came down to see what was going on, and there was just hundreds of posts going on Facebook. So the office was getting so excited because they didn't expect people to jump on it so quickly. And then on top of that, we wanted to try and find a way to take it, not just online, but take it offline and find a way which we can get the whole attention of the whole organisation. And so we did this crazy little thing. We had a private donor sponsor for us a 30-metre by 30-metre sign, both in Sydney and Melbourne, that was airlifted by helicopter through the city and to the head office of both Coles and Woolworths. This sign said, like, hey Coles, thank you for changing the world with us, in brackets, if you say yes, and then from our team on there. And that circled around the head office for about half an hour. We got a little email from one of them saying, thanks for the flyby, we very much enjoyed it. All of us saw it.
So Justine, how long did you run the campaign for?
We launched the videos, had about 2 weeks of people putting up their petitions, and then we met with both Coles and Woolworths right after we finished up the campaign. And then their response back, so Coles was within 5 hours and Woolworths was within 3 hours after us meeting and presenting everything to them.
So do you think without that social media pressure, if you like, you would have won the contracts?
Look, we don't think we would have. And look, it does look like a lot of pressure and backing them into a corner. It was really to prove to them that this is a big concept and people are willing to get behind it.
Okay, and Dan, were there any other avenues that you looked at to woo the big retailers?
For 5 years, we couldn't get one product on the shelf. So to come along with 10, 11, 12 products and go, hey, we'd like this all on at the same time was kind of just a pipe dream. So we knew we had to do something different. And this campaign, I think it had a reach of 15.5 million media impressions on social media and mainstream media in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So 81 media features, the video exploded. It went from I think our goal was 10,000 views in 2 weeks, but we hit that in the first day. It was going, hey, you guys are big retailers and we are a very little brand, but we're proving to you that this has the potential to sell just like any other product.
So what are some of the things that you've taken away from this campaign that are applicable to other small businesses?
It's really important that when you sit down with a retailer, you're not just presenting an idea, because they get ideas presented, hundreds of times a week or a month. But it's about presenting an opportunity. And so this campaign was us, it was about designing and creating an opportunity where they can play a part and be part of something big. And it's something where I think they can go, we could see this working. And right back at the beginning, we just went around telling everyone about our idea and it didn't get any traction.
Okay.
So that's a bit of a takeaway that we definitely recommend to other people to think about.
What an inspiring story and a terrific example of how to leverage customer loyalty to take your brand to the next level. Next up, it's time for Ask Kochie, where I'll take on another of your burning business questions.
This segment brought to you by NAB. We see Australian business.
G'day, I'm Jeff, and this is my small business, The Lean Butcher in Janelli. We started in November last year, and it was a challenge to begin with. I did a TAFE course in small business management, which really helped me to get that plan together, because even though you may think you know what you want to do and what you want to achieve, and unless you can put it really down onto paper, it's very, very hard to present to your bank manager, present to your accountant. I don't see my competition as being other butchers. I'd love to see 1,000 small businesses and small butcher shops around. What you need to do as a businessman and as a small business is make sure that your offering is substantially better in the range of value, in the service that you provide, how friendly you are to them, the advice that you can offer them. These are really important things. It's not just about the meat. It's not just about the product that you're selling. My little boy brings the customers in because he's so damn cute. And my wife, she does all the book work, she does the marketing, the branding. She takes a lot of pressure. She's my go-to girl. Some businesses, small businesses, don't need as much finance to start up. A butcher shop's not one of those businesses. There's a lot of equipment that you need to buy. We knew that we needed to finance to do that. We went through the NAB bank, and they were fantastic. I'd already had a mortgage, and Leonie had a full-time job, I had a full-time job. It'd be pretty easy for a bank manager to say, hey, whoa, you're pretty safe where you are there, cowboy. Just stay where you are. But no, they didn't do that. He sort of turned around and said, well, if you can implement more of a business plan, then, we can really go ahead with this thing. And that was all I needed. Our banker, we really get along really well with Dennis. He was very supportive from the word go. He will often come in to the butcher shop and we'll have a bit of a chat, and he'll get some of our great steaks, and everyone's happy then. I feel that I didn't become a butcher. Butchering chose me. You give someone advice for a meal, and they come in and say, oh, geez, Jeff, you really made that something, and it's very richly rewarding going, well, thank you.
For more information, visit nab.com.au/smallbusiness. This tech tip brought to you by McAfee.
At some point, you're probably going to need a graphic designer to help your business design a brochure or a logo. However, designers can be expensive, but there are online design tools that make the job easy and keep the costs down. Canva.com is a great example. It's almost like a designer for dummies style website. It exists of pre-designed templates that you can use, and you can also collaboratively share your designs with your clients or your friends to get their input. And you only pay when you publish, and prices are surprisingly cheap. Now, if you do have your own designers, you can use Adobe Creative Cloud, which is a cloud-based design service, but it can be quite expensive, and you do need talented designers to make the most of it.
Right, time to answer your questions, and Rob has sent one in via Facebook. He says, I'm looking at buying into a new franchise business, but having trouble getting the banks on board with finance. What's your advice? Well, Rob, many of the state government small business websites have great guides for assessing franchise opportunities and the finance options available. As obvious as it sounds, just ask the banks exactly what they want to see and then give it to them. Now, usually this will be a comprehensive best, worst and expected case cash flow forecast that proves your ability to service the loan, and also, of course, a business plan. Also, talk to the master franchise holder who may have some financing options available. So hopefully that helps. Now, if you're in need of some help with the digital side of your business, whether building a website, an online store or social media, don't forget the KBB Digital team can help. Head to kbbdigital.com.au to find out more. I'll catch you next time. Next week on KBB, we help mobile bar business What's on Tap with their cash flow crunch. We give some tips to Boardcave for managing their business growth, and talk to a couple revolutionising the Aussie gym scene with a tried and tested franchise idea.